Welcome to Mature Allure, where we chat about, oh my goodness, the experiences and perspectives of women in midlife. Today, I'm so excited to have the ladies from the Goalden System, and that's spelled Goalden. And that's because it's a new year. It's that time of year. So, ladies, welcome. I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves. Let's start with you, Krissy.
Thank you for having us. I am Krissy Metzler. I am a former educator and then went into the coaching and management-esque world. And I am joining you from outside of Chicago, where I live with my family and my dog.
Nice. Kate?
Everyone, I am from Charleston, South Carolina, is where my family and I are located. You can always find us near the water. So wherever we go we've lived a lot of places, but right now we're in Charleston, and I too come from an education background. And before that, I was teaching marine science. So a lot of education before I switched into the coaching role.
Nice. And last but not least, Jessica.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having us. I am calling in from Southeast Florida, the Treasure Coast. I do live here also with my family and my herd of senior Chihuahuas. You might hear them, see them. I'll apologize in advance. I asked them so kindly to be well behaved. Also a former educator, really enjoy the coaching world, have had a management background, and really provide that individualized experience that we do at the Goalden System.
Nice. Welcome, welcome. I invited you ladies to Mature Allure because, like I said, it is a new year, 2024. And, it's that time, resolutions, however people want to say it now. Oh, my plans for the next month. I don't know. But since you guys are the Goalden System, tell us a little bit about what that is. I don't know who wants to start off, but whoever it is, tell us a little bit about the Goalden System and what it does.
Of course. Yeah, we're really good at taking turns. So you'll hear from all three of us. So we are all about, at the Goalden System, obviously, Goalden, we are rooted in the structure of goals. We are all about strengthening skills. So we want to help people with organization, time management, focusing, planning, prioritizing, all of those, essential life skills in order to reach your goals. So no matter what they are, right? Whatever your goal is, by using these skills, you will get there. So we help people find systems that work for them and their brain. So we offer courses to get a jump start on strengthening those skills, as well as the one-on-one coaching. So we support students, starting around age 15 and up, all the way through adulthood, because, it really is essential that we develop it. So we have an extensive collection of blogs on our website, goaldensystem.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Krissy?
I mean, everything we do here is tailored to the person we are working with. But really, the Goalden System itself really developed because we saw a need for people to get the help in these day-to-day skills, right? It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 100 plus. It doesn't matter. The skills that we work on with people are skills that are all the time kind of skills. It doesn't matter what walk of life you are in at the moment. They can help.
Nice. Jessica? I'm going to let you add something too.
I love to elaborate just slightly on the skills. So what are those skills, right? Like organization, planning, prioritizing. Some people might call them your soft skills. And the one thing, the real message we like to keep putting out there is that it really does not matter your age at all. These are lifelong skills. You might want to blame your parents for passing down bad traits, but these are skills, right? You can learn them no matter your age, no matter your situation. And we like to kind of show people how they can use that because it really puts into a world of empowerment, confidence, and all of that. So that's what we're all about at the Goalden System.
Nice, nice. Well, I know that you guys, just kind of looking a little bit at your website, you all have backgrounds in behavioral change, leadership, and coaching. If you could explain why those three things are important and how it enhances the offerings that you all have.
That's a really great question because as people who have been in the education world, you pick up so many skills within just managing classrooms and administrative tasks and out, heaven forbid you have a life outside of a classroom to kind of manage. So for myself personally, I'm a former high school English and writing teacher, and I have my master's in special education. I left the classroom and I really found joy in executive function coaching and serving in that management position and helping other people fine tune their craft as well. But our backgrounds really have this ability to reach so many people on so many different levels because we are very non-judgmental people as a team, as a company. So just our ability to kind of tailor things to what people need is something we've all been doing for so many years. And we're going to make you feel good about wanting to, get better at something that maybe you're not there yet. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So my background is education psychology. So for me, I have always loved and embraced understanding how people learn, right? The science behind it, the why, we are each so individualized. Like we are all, amazing humans, and we all deserve the ability to learn in a way that's effective for us, right? Like we all deserve that. So again, what Krissy is talking about is this empowerment. We truly believe that everyone deserves the opportunity for this success, but having the education and the experience, I was a professional educator in the nonprofit sector, my master's backs that up. And so I really have the experience and the training to optimize learning for individuals. We know what it takes to help and support people in behavior change, because that's hard,
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
Yes. That's one of my other questions coming up. Anything you want to add, Jessica?
Yes. So we're teachers, right? At its core, we love teaching, we love helping, we love instructing. And we bring that kind, compassionate energy. And we want to understand, see, because all of us like psychology, we all love human behavior. We enjoy learning how the brain works, so that if you want to learn more about how your brain works, we can help you with that and teach you about it, because we know and we believe that knowledge is power. And so that is really helpful at any walk of life to start to really learn about yourself so that you can own who you are and be that person without, what's that word I'm looking for? Like just without any hesitation, no reserves, just
Unapologetic.
be you. There it is.
Unapologetically.
That's it.
Be
That's
unapologetically you, so that you can show up and be you and enjoy this life that we're given, because we're given one, right? So that's what we want to do, is enjoy it.
Well, one of my questions is about behavioral patterns. Like, why is that so important? Especially now, like I said, this is a new year. People are setting goals and resolutions, and we're not going to talk about whether it's weight or not, because that's always a goal. But, but I mean, like, why is behavioral patterns so important?
Ooh, I love this. Okay, so life is hard, right? We're all adults here. Life is hard. It is difficult. It is overwhelming. So really, it's very hard on a one-on-one level, just like personally, right? It's very hard to step back when you're in that place to reflect on what's going on, to be real about, okay, like I'm feeling pressure from here. I'm being inundated over here. How do you take a step back from that, take a breath, and look at what's going on? It's really hard to do that. So it's often a lot easier if you have someone to guide you in that process. And that's where we come in, right? We are free of judgment, right? We are not your boss. We are not your spouse. We are not your partner. We are not your kid, child, teacher, parent, whatever role. We are not that.
Your mama.
We're not your mama. We are here. We have no skin in the game except for our care for you. So by being able to look from the outside looking in, we provide that kind of reflection space where you can see what behaviors may be actually holding you back. So if you think about it, when we are overwhelmed, you can trace back that overwhelm to certain behaviors or routines you've established. When you're really stressed out, every single person, like the three of us included, we rely on behaviors that allow us to just get through the moment, just get through the hard stuff, because it is, right? So those patterns is where we come into play, because those small patterns turn into behaviors, turn into habits by virtue of routine. So the first step is recognizing it, recognizing that you are in this pattern that is not serving you. And what happens then is you become motivated to make the change. Once you recognize it, you're like, oh yeah, like this isn't, like I want this to be different. Once you are motivated to make that change, that is when everything is amazing, because you are then inspired to take a small step. And that's all it takes. Small incremental adjustments. That can mean trying a new strategy or utilizing a new tool. Just small micro changes in your routine. You can have huge results and feel very different. So by looking at our patterns of behavior, by reflecting on it, you can really have, big shifts in life.
Wow. Anything else to add, ladies?
One thing that I would say is just the fact that change can be difficult, as Kate said. Like, nobody kind of walks through this without some wounds along the way, but it's so worth it. But it's that shifting of your mindset, like Kate was talking about, to just say, like, I'm worth going through this change. I'm worth it. Like, we really do want to empower people to be like, you should want to live the life that you want to live. We strive to kind of get rid of that idea of like, is this all there is to life? No, you should take time for yourself. You should prioritize yourself. You should work through those changes so that
you do it.
You need to. You're right.
You need to. Yes.
Yeah.
You need to.
Yeah. And especially, people make up New Year's resolutions for whatever reasons. And not just New Year's resolutions. All throughout the year, there are little things you're like, oh, I want to change this. I want to do that. But the why of it all, I would think helps with that should, which goes back to, like you said, the behavioral patterns. But there were a couple of other things that I saw on your website that you focus on too. Acquiring the new skills and implementing the strategy. Can one of you tell us about those two things?
Yes. So to that question really goes exactly with what Kate and Krissy were just saying, because to do that, you have to look at what systems do you already have in place? What habits do you have, as they mentioned, that just aren't suiting you, that you need to leave behind? So new year, new you, might be outdated, outdone, but it's true, because when you can stop and reflect and look at what it is that is no longer serving you, then leave that behind. And let's learn some new strategies and systems on how we can do better and just be better moving forward. Because when you know more, and you know better, you can do better. So we know that making changes, setting out resolutions, looking ahead, it can honestly be a little bit intimidating. And so perhaps that's why people just get these big statements of, I'm going to do this year, and this is I'm going to do, right? But why? Sherri, as you were saying, why? Why do you want that? What is that going to do for you? How can that help you? And so when you can kind of bring it back to at your core, what is it that you want? What life do you envision for yourself? What's the reality? And then when we work with you, we help you see there's options, there's opportunities, there is a way forward so that you can achieve that. And so that's some of how those skills and strategies can really help to put you in a wonderful forward motion.
Nice. Nice. So then let's talk about New Year's resolutions. What? Yeah. First, before we talk about that, let me ask you this. Do you guys believe in New Year's resolutions?
Here's the general thought on that. We know that most people like that clean slate feeling that comes along at the beginning of a new year. But we also want everybody to know that any day can serve as a clean slate. It doesn't have to be a new year. It doesn't have to be a new month. It doesn't even have to be a Monday. Because we're all kind of, like it's I'll start that on Monday. Yep. Heaven forbid I started on a Friday. Like how dare I? No, it doesn't. There's nothing special about the new year in that regard, or the first of the month, or a Monday. But for us, if that is a motivating factor, then that's motivation, and we're going to hold on to it because it's really important to have solid motivation to try and at least jumpstart the process. So the most important thing for the three of us is truly that you start working towards your goals when you are ready. So if it means January 1st, then let's go. It came on January 1st. It is.
Mm-hmm. So then what are 3 to 5 tips you can give or share for people that are doing New Year's resolutions for either success or to actually achieve some of the goals?
Okay, so
any of you?
So one thing that really we've noticed in the work we do, mm-hmm. we are so busy. We are busy human beings, right? Busy doing this, busy being this. We often forget to stop and reflect. And stop and reflect on the process. How are things going? What is working? What isn't working? And so when you're trying to make progress and you're trying to manage progress, we would suggest that you stop and reflect along the way, because if you just keep moving forward, you're never going to know if it's working for you, because you just put your head down and you grind forward. It's not always the best solution. Are there instances where that works? Sure. But we'd also like you to kind of put your head up every now and again and say, is this working for me? And really be honest with yourself. And if it's not working, then that's when we can help you figure out what needs to be adjusted.
And so it's okay to make a change too.
Yeah, 100%. Because you might want to start with, being specific about what you want. The other
thing too, can you guys
and truly envisioning it. Like what does that look like to you? But then also figuring out what resources you need and kind of breaking down that stigma of getting away from that idea that like you as a woman have to do it all and you have to do it by yourself. Otherwise it's a failure kind of moment. That's not true at all. And utilizing accountability is really huge in what we do. And what we always recommend to people when they start making these goals and they start thinking about them and mulling them over is who's going to support you as you work towards your goals. Because regardless of when you start them, your motivation is going to start to drop. It's inevitable. It happens to everybody. It's normal. But what are you going to do to have a support system to kind of help pick you back up and remind you of your why and help you push you forward towards where you want to be?
That's actually a really good point. I hope Kate is still with us, but that's a really good point. It seems like she's dropped out, but that's a really good point, having a support system, because a lot of times I think when people do make the goals, unless it's the one exercising more, you get an exercise buddy or something like that. I just don't know that people really look into having that support system for the other goals, the smaller goals. There is one thing I do want to ask about with the Goalden System. You guys work from the scientific grow model. I don't really know much about that. I'm not sure. There are probably people in our audience who do, but I don't. Maybe if you could just kind of explain a little bit about that and tell us more.
Yeah, so the GROW model is a research-backed model that we had learned about in our studies and in the work that we were doing, and we knew the importance of having a model that our clients could use, because why? We're going to develop a common language together so that when we're in this journey together and I ask you, what's your goal? That's the first of the GROW, GROW model. It's goal. Then we know what we're talking about. And then you look at, well, what's your reality right now? Let's just take a little snapshot. What is happening? What isn't happening? And then we go into that. Oh, that's when we look at obstacles. And Sherri, this is the moment where most of the clients, most of the people we work with, and even ourselves, this is kind of where it stops sometimes, because you get an obstacle and you see that there's an obstacle, but you forget that other piece of the GROW model is your options. And Krissy is so famous for saying, we always have a solution. There's always going to be a solution. And my favorite thing I've learned is that when she says, it might not be plan A, because plan A is exactly what you wanted to happen. Yeah. So you might have to dig in a little deeper and look at, is plan B, C, D, E, or F maybe, a viable option? Could we explore that? Because we get so caught up sometimes in the way we think things need to be done, that when you use this GROW model, we'll remind you there are going to be obstacles, and we want to look at what are those options so that you can have a way forward. So that's the W, is you're always looking at what is the way forward? What do those steps look like? Because it's sometimes challenging when you set a goal and you're like, oh, I have this goal, I want to do that, but you haven't been able to kind of stop and go through the other areas and see how to take that first step, because that first step can be really, really scary. And so when you go through a model like this and you get to that W, we can just explore what are some options, what are some way forward. We don't have to decide yet, but just seeing that there are options and there are ways to move forward is very beneficial for your mindset. And especially in a new year, we want to really look at our mindset and where are you in your headspace? How is it looking in there? And that's a little check that you can do for yourself.
I like the reality part too, because a lot of times when you're setting goals, they're like, oh yeah, I'll do this. I'll travel the world in the next 3 months. Okay, yes. First of all, you haven't really done it in all these years. Like, how are you going to make this happen? Type thing. So you're talking about goal, reality, options, was it?
Yes, obstacles are options.
Obstacles, options, and way forward.
You've got it, Sherri. That's right. Yeah.
Welcome back, Kate. Nice to see you.
I could hear you guys, but apparently nobody could hear me, so that's fine.
We couldn't.
It happens. Okay, so we talked about the behavioral patterns. What are some goals that you guys feel people should have year-round to help them be successful in their goal achievements?
I think that a goal that everybody should always kind of have at the forefront of their brain, one that I think is very applicable to everyone, is kind of being intentional about putting themselves first. Because a lot beyond that goal, a lot of goals are seasonal, right? They could be related to working towards a promotion at work, or getting through the beginning of the school year with your kids, or getting a college student packed up and ready to go. They can seem very seasonal, but putting yourself first is a really great goal to have all year long, mainly because by having it as a goal and being intentional, you're intentionally working towards making it happen. It's not oh, yes, I will prioritize myself. Because I can guarantee you that the three of us have all slipped into at different points in time as mothers, spouses, friends, children. Like, we come last. And that's, if it's not an intentional thing, it gets dropped very easily. The other thing that I will say until I'm probably blue in the face is that we need to be kinder to ourselves because things are going to go wrong. Like the GROW model, like we work through this on the daily with people, but goal and habit changing and building these new habits is hard. You're going to trip. You're going to probably fall on your face. It's okay. You have to be able to kind of let go of the, oh my goodness, I'm terrible at this.
Yeah.
Mantra.
Yeah. The perfection of it all.
Exactly. I say perfection lives in a world full of unicorns. So
just doesn't exist.
They don't exist. It can't. You can't expect perfection out of yourself.
Wow. So then you mentioned the promotion, whether one of your goals is to get the promotion at work. Are there different ways you should think about personal goals versus business and career goals?
Ultimately, it comes down to being specific, right? So I think across the board, whether it's personal or professional, you want to be specific. So if I'm like, oh, I want to be successful, what? Like you need to actually have how do you define that? And a lot of people, when you have a conversation, we actually polled a bunch of people. When you ask, what is success, right? These are all business owners, entrepreneurs that we spoke with. And ultimately it all came back to their family.
Yes.
And it was really fascinating. So there's a difference between, being as specific as possible. You also have to consider if your goal is realistic. Like, I want to be an astronaut. I have zero training. Like, what? I'm going to be an astronaut? That's not realistic. So, no matter whether it's personal or professional, you really need to be very being intentional with your goals. And if you are setting a goal for your professional life, you want to think about it. A lot more things professionally are out of your control, right? Mm-hmm. If you are in a business setting, you getting that promotion may be determined on if that old schmo over there is going to retire. So there are things that are out of your control. So you really want to be mindful when setting a goal. You want to set a goal that you have some say in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like leaving work on time.
Yeah.
That's you can combine a personal and professional goal, right? Give yourself all you can and then be able to leave on time, whatever on time means for you and your employer, of course. But, you don't always have to give your full self to just your career. You just can't. It's not sustainable.
Well, again, it's a new year, 2024 already.
Ooh.
What suggestions do you have when it comes for planning for a successful year? You guys have said a lot of those things, but to kind of just break it down for people that are saying, I want to have a successful year. Like you just mentioned, Kate, what does that mean? But once people start really thinking about it, what are some suggestions that people can do to make sure that success, whatever it is achievable?
Tell someone else. We should never go at it alone. It is always so much better when you go at it with a partner, and you can define partner in any term that you would like. And we call our clients our partners for that reason, because we want to go and walk alongside that journey with you. There's a research study that says that you're 80% more likely to do the thing, achieve the goal, or complete the task if you bring in accountability. And so by sharing that, by speaking it out loud, getting it out of your head and not just thinking about it, you're able to get it out into a world and have somebody, support you in a really helpful way. And that might empower you to take action toward your goal, because ultimately a goal is just a dream until you put a plan in place. And that's what we want to do, is go from dreaming and wishing to putting a goal and taking action and really working towards it, because it's such a worthy investment for yourself.
And then you just, oh my goodness, you just wrap that up so nicely, because you're thinking about the people that want to, especially in midlife. Sometimes people are living their dreams, but a good portion of us are either in the midst of something that's leading us to it, maybe, or we're making a change, a career change, or there's a family, a life change that puts you in a place where you're like, you know what? Like you said earlier, Krissy, it's about me. I need to consider the things that are going to make me be the person that I actually want to be and live that dream. So to take the goal from the actual dream, or really to make the goal so that the dream may actually happen. Wow. I didn't really think of it like that.
Yeah.
Because you don't think of goals as your dreams, even though basically.
Yeah. It's like we're talking the same language. It's just we're putting a little bit of oomph behind it, and a little action behind it too.
Wow.
And we're all in transition of some kind, right? The only constant about life is that it's not constant. And we're always going to have new things that come up unexpectedly. And it's how we move through those periods to get on to the next track is really, those are the defining moments. And if we associate that with a goal, and learning new things about ourselves or new things that we can do for ourselves, that's so powerful moving through life, because you know that you will get through whatever that thing is. You will come out closer to that goal, closer to that dream of yours, when you have the right systems in place.
Absolutely. Well, lastly, if I could get a statement from each one of you on, and of course, because you all are the Goalden System, like the importance, how important really is goal setting and achievement?
I can't say it enough. It's so important. And I think one of the biggest reasons for me the goal setting is so important is because it's a way to hold yourself accountable, and it's something to do for you because you're worth it.
Yeah. And motivation is powerful. It is life-changing. So if you have achievable goals and you've reached those goals, or you are working towards it, that is such a power that we all possess. And to harness that and to utilize that, it's awesome.
Don't wait for those big life events. You can take the time now and set those goals and look for them and toward them. And for me and for us, at the Goalden System, goals are important. We felt it so important that we incorporated it right into our name, the Goalden System. And as a mom, it's been very cool to watch my young elementary age children say, a goal of mine, like I could almost cry just thinking about it, because I get to now hear the next generation talk about what it is they want to do to impact their day, their life, make them a better person and a better friend. And so it's definitely very important, because it helps our kids continue to be dreamers, and it allows us to continue to be dreamers and really design our life and not let it be built for us. And so to me, that's why goals are so important, because it allows me to be a key player in my own life. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, this conversation has been awesome. And I thank you for being here at Mature Allure. If you could just share with us how people can get in touch with you. Like I said, it's the start of the year. Hey, people might need a little help after hearing this, saying, you know what? Yeah, I need this. in my personal, professional, whatever is going on in life, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, we would love to chat with anyone. Call us up. We are here. We are available. You can head over to thegoaldensystem.com. So GOALDEN system.com and schedule a time that works for you to talk with us. Coaching might be the right fit, or you might want to check out one of our resources. We are here. We are available, and we want to talk with you.
We also really love to hear about what people are working towards with their own goals, big, small, in the middle somewhere, however they quantify it. We really like to hear what people are up to and working towards.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anything else, Jessica?
I mean, we are community builders, and so we very much open arms, welcome anybody, just to, even if you just need to chat about something, or you're looking for a resource and you think we might know how to help you find that resource, we can do that too. We can be a resource as well.
Nice. Well, again, thank you for being here at Mature Allure, and we appreciate it. And to our listeners out there, please get in touch with the ladies from the Goalden System. We have Krissy, Kate, and Jessica. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Sherri.
You're listening to the Mature Allure podcast. I'm your host, Sherri O. If you have a topic in mind that you'd like us to cover on Mature Allure, drop us a note in the comments or share it with us on one of our social media channels. Until the next time, remember, self-love is the key to unlocking the radiant allure that shines from within.